Hi everyone, and welcome to my live creative time today. My name's Mandy Witherby from Mandy's Papercraft Creations, and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got thrown because I had that lock again where the screen wouldn't flip, and it just sort of threw me for a moment there, but everything is all good now. So so forgive me for getting my tongue tied. Welcome. It is great to be here. A little bit bleary-eyed this morning. I went to bed way too late last night, and it was very hard to get up this morning. So thank you so much for being here today. If you're watching live, if you're watching the replay, or if you're watching over on YouTube, thank you so much for being here. And I really appreciate your support in watching my videos. So thank you so much. Now, if you are over on YouTube and you haven't yet subscribed, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You'll find the subscribe button down the bottom below the video here. So click on that and then click on the little bell icon as well, and you can choose how you would like to be notified when I upload new videos. Good morning, Roz. How are you? It is a little bit, well, it's not early morning, but it's early for me because I went to bed way too late last night. So I've got the toothpicks happening this morning, trying to keep myself awake with my eyes open and the lights right in my eyes. But it's all good. I have got a beautiful project to share with you today and some tips and tricks along the way, of course. So while we're waiting for everyone to jump on, I'm going to bring this up on my iPad and my computer so I can see all of your comments there. So let's see how we go. Well, no, we want to turn down. Now, hubby's working from home today. He slept through his alarm today too. So I hope that the internet will play nice because he's working from home. So that means he's on the internet as well, draining the internet. So fingers crossed, let's hope everything goes well. All right, so I've got that up on my iPad. Hi, Dimity, how are you? Are you going to get the new battery for your car today? No worries. That's okay. Whatever you miss will be available on the replay, so feel free to come back later. Okay, and let me check over here on the computer, or I have to refresh that page. And is it there? Yeah, okay. So I'll just mute my page. I don't know if that muted then. We'll find out in a sec. No, it didn't. There we go. Okay, didn't tap it quite firmly enough. There we go. Okay, good. Oh, well, I have got a project for you today. Those of you who have been around for a little bit will know that at the moment we have some exciting things happening in Stampin' Up! So we have got a brand new catalogue coming out on the 2nd of May. I knew I was going to get that wrong. The 2nd of May. And guess what arrived in my mailbox this week? Yay! So I have got a copy already of the brand new catalogue. Super exciting. That's one of the perks of being a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator is we get new catalogues and we get to order from these new catalogues early, about a month earlier than everybody else. So it's one of the perks of being a demonstrator. So yeah, super awesome. Now I can't show you the inside yet until the 2nd of May when it goes live, but I can just show you the beautiful cover, and that might give you a little hint of some of the beautiful products that are coming. And look at those beautiful colors. We've got a color refresh happening, which means that some of our old colorers are leaving us, they're retiring, and we've got some gorgeous new colors coming in. So that is super exciting. Now, because that new catalog is coming, it means that our old annual catalog is retiring us. It's leaving. So it's going to be finishing up on the 1st of May. So sorry about the reflection there. I've actually got a plastic cover on mine because this is what I call my working copy. Let me go. I'll turn that over. There we go. A little less reflection now. This is what I call my working copy. This is the one I use all year. So I take it to my local stationery store and I get it spiral bound, and then I add all my sticky tabs to help me find things. So this one lasts me the entire year with the plastic cover on the front and the back. So when you get your catalogue, if you want to keep it nice for the whole year, you can either store it in a plastic sleeve or something like that, or you can take it to your stationery store and do that if you would like to. So that's totally up to you. But of course the catalogue just on its own is beautiful. So that one's retiring. Also too, we have got our current mini catalogue, which is the January to April 2023 mini catalogue. And you can see this is my working copy as well. This one I don't get spiral bound because it's a smaller catalogue. So yeah, so this one is retiring as well. So a lot of the products out of these two catalogues that are retiring are going, and they're going to be gone for good, to make way for all the beautiful new products that are coming, which is super exciting. I have already placed my pre-order, because that's another great thing as a demonstrator. We get to order the products early, and we have what is called a pre-order about the month leading up to the new catalogue launching. And so I've already placed my order, and I found out this morning that it's on its way to me already. So I'm so excited. So I'll have some new products to share with you really soon. Now, being that those other catalogues are retiring, we have got a sale at the moment. So it's the last chance sale. It's on those products that are retiring, up to 60% discount, which is amazing. And the other day I put up links to these catalogs so that you can find them. And in fact, I'm just trying to think, did I put it in my link tree? Let me just have a look there. Oh, hang on, I'm in the wrong spot. That's not where I want to be. I want to be over here. I'll just double check to see if I put them in my link tree, because if I didn't, I should probably do that. I'll just click over there to my link tree and just double check to see. My link tree is like a link. Yes, they are there. They are there. It's a link extender, so I can add all of my different links to different things into one link. And then when people click on that link, it opens up all those different things, and then people can decide where they want to go. So you can then click on the extensions of that link to go wherever you want to go. So yes, I have the last chance lists up. I might actually change those ones, because since I uploaded those ones, I've created, yes, I've put the PDF version up, but I've now color coded the Excel version. So I've color coded it with the different discounts. So 60%, 50, 20, right down to 10% discount. Got them all color coded, which is easier to read. So I'll write myself a note to do that for you all today, because that'll make it so much easier. And then you can click there and you can go straight to the 60% items and know which ones are the have the big discounts on them, and grab yourself a bargain. So I'm just going to write myself a note, update link tree last chance lists. There we go. So I will do that when we finish filming this morning. Great. But yeah, there are lists there, the PDF version, so there is a full list there. But you know what? The easiest way to do is to go to the online store and have a look and see what is there. When you get into the online store, you'll straight away get a banner that comes up the top with the sale, with the 60% last chance sale promotion. It'll look like this. If you click on that, it takes you straight through to the promotion page. Then you can see everything that's discounted and that's retiring. So some of the retiring products aren't discounted, but the majority of them are, which is awesome. Okay, got that. Yep. And we'll head back over here. Good. Okay. So go and check that out. There will be a link to my online store in the description of this video. So yeah, check those out. Now also too, I didn't get a chance to check yet this morning, but I checked late last night, and a lot of the retiring colors are already selling out. So most of the ink refills had sold out already by last night. I think I'll just jump over there and have a look now for you. Most of the ink pads were still available. Well, some of the ink pads had sold out, but there were some that were still available. but the refills themselves, they always go quick. They're always one of the first things to go when we have a new catalog coming in, and especially we've got the color refresh coming. So let me just show you quickly. Here's a little sneak peek of, this is our little promotion flyer for the color refresh. And so you can see some of those gorgeous new colors in there. Super, super exciting. I'm so excited for some of these colors. Now I've got it written here on the sticky note, which is what I was just pulling off the flyer as I went to show you. We've got 5 new in colors that are coming, and I've got a different flyer for those. So these are the beautiful 5 new in colors. So gorgeous, very earthy tones, and they all coordinate so beautifully together. And I know that they're going to coordinate with a lot of the other colors as well. So I can't wait to get those. So we've got the 5 new in colors. We've got 4 other brand new core colors coming. And then we've got 7 returning colors. So there's a big cry out for some of these colors that had retired previously that everybody loved and wanted back. And so Stampin' Up! Has listened, which is awesome. And they're bringing them back. So that is super awesome. And also too, it'll help to feel like one stays on, it keeps Stampin' Up! On trend with their color offering. And also too, it fills holes in the color offering too. So where there may have been too many greens and not enough blues, or not enough pinks, or, you know, not you know, there might have been bright pinks and we needed softer pinks, or whatever, things like that. So they look at so many different things when they're looking at a color refresh. So so that's what's happening. But I was just going to have a quick little look to see. Let's see what is on low inventory today, and what has actually already gone. Ooh. Okay, so some of the things that are on low inventory are ones that are staying anyway, so that's okay. But the discontinued list, we've got all of the ink refills. How many have we got on there now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And okay, so there's 2 ink refills that aren't on there yet. So and then there's a whole heap of other products too. There's some retiring colored cardstock, a couple of the ink pads. But go over to the online store and see what is there. If there's any of those colors that you love, that you want, grab them now. Don't wait, because we are only, what's today's date? Today is the 6th of April. So we've only had the sale for 2 days, and already all of those ink refills are selling out. So your Stampin' blends as well. Make sure you grab those now too while you can, because they're going to sell out quickly as well. Hey Glenda, how are you? Great to have you here. Yeah, so check that out. We've also got Pearl Basic Jewels. They're gone already as well. They're retiring. Shimmery White Cardstock is retiring. It's gone. Some of the ribbons have gone. The Stamparatus has also already sold out. It's retiring and it's gone. And the small grid paper. But if you have a Stamparatus and you haven't yet purchased additional magnets, you might want to grab the magnets, or you might want to get spare plates or whatever. Jump on those now, because the Stamparatus is gone. All those other accessories will probably go pretty quickly too, I expect. And then from the mini catalogue, we've got the Enjoy the Journey suite. We've got the the Great Journey bundle, the Greatest Journey dies, and then we've got the Beautiful Thistle and the Beautiful Thistle Cling stamp set, which have all sold out as well. So they've been retired now. Well, not retired now, they're discontinued. They officially become retired on the 1st of May. So yeah, so things are starting to sell out, but especially the inks and all of the color things, the inks, the ink refills, the stamp pads are starting to go, and your coloring tools will be next. So that's my prediction. So yeah, jump on that. go over to the online store and have a look. You can get to my online store through my blog or my website. There's the, if you click on those, go to either of those and then click on my shop link. That'll take you straight through my online store. And if you happen to be shopping with me, and if you have your own demonstrator, then that's fine too. Go to their online store ASAP, grab those items. But if you are shopping with me, that is my April 2023 host code. So use that host code when you're shopping with me. And with every order over $75, you'll receive a thank you gift from me when you use the host code. So be sure to check that out. All right. So that is all the news. That's what's happening. There's lots of buzz in the Stampin' Up world because it's all very exciting. New catalogue, new colours, last chance product sales, and it's just a busy time right now, but it's super exciting. Let me just pop my catalogues over on my desk, my other desk, and we will get crafting. So we're going to be using some of the products today that are going, and we're combining that with a few things that are also staying, such as, a few of the colors that are staying. But the majority of what I'm using today will be leaving us very, very soon. So I'll be sure to let you know which ones are going, what the discounts are on them, and all of those sorts of things. So, alrighty, so let's turn the camera down now to the desktop. And I usually blue tack down my grid paper, and I haven't done that yet today. So I've got my big grid paper happening now because the small grid paper has gone. And although I still have some left in my stash, thankfully I had bought some not long ago. Yes, because that is gone, I've gone back to using my larger grid paper sheets. All right, so I'm going to cover up the camera and tip the camera down so that we can get started. So bear with me. And feel free to ask me any questions as we are crafting as well. And, I forgot to change my stand. I meant to flip that over and I totally forgot. Actually, I can't do it right now. I have to do that after I finish filming. That's okay. Just my clamps are on the wrong side and I've got to do it back to front. But that's okay. I can cope. We'll make it happen. There we go. Okay. We are nearly there. There we go. Now, I don't know if I flipped the cameras in saying that. Oh, I did. Oh, good. I was thinking, I thought I had forgotten to flip those cameras, but we are all good there. Okay. Oh, lights. We are a little bit dark, aren't we there? I'll move my keyboard because we don't need that right now. Okay. Now we need to move all of this up, and my camera isn't straight. It's a little bit wonky. So we'll get that straight at a proper angle. All right, and then we'll move this up and get that all in camera shot. Just wait for the camera to catch up to make sure that I can see everything in the camera. Going over there and up. We can go right up to the line. Go a bit beyond the line actually. There we go. And then we'll pop these up here. Okay, so how's everybody's Thursday so far? We are nearly at the weekend, and we've got a long weekend this weekend. So that's lovely. We're going to have a little bit of a mini holiday. Well, we're not having a mini holiday. We're staying at home. Would be nice, but I've just had one not long ago, just a couple of weeks ago. We went up to Queensland for a couple of days. My hubby and I went up there for a few days to see our daughter. All right. So what I was going to show you, well, actually, I'll just show you the products because it's probably better to go straight to the online store anyway. But let me show you what we are going to be playing with today. We are playing with the beautiful Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. Well, the bundle actually. We've got the stamp set, and the stamp set. Well, these products are not bundled anymore because they were originally when they first came out, but in this last catalogue they were just individual items. But the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set, which apparently is still now available, is discounted by 60%, which is amazing. And I'm going to show you a couple of tips and tricks with this stamp set, okay? Because it's a large stamp set, but I've got some tips and tricks to make it easier to use. So I will share those with you. So we've got this beautiful stamp set, and of course, so it was $32 and it's now only $12.80. $12.80, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 butterflies in the one stamp. So $12.80, that is a brilliant price. Jump on that one if you haven't got it already in your collection. It's a beautiful, beautiful stamp set. I'll stick my little sticker back on there too so that I remember. Okay, then we've got the coordinating dies, and I'm going to open the die packet to show you because there are so many dies in this. This is the Brilliant Wings dies, and they coordinate with the stamp set, plus you get additional dies in there as well. Now, I put mine on magnetic sheets because I knew it was one that I would use a fair bit, and I have made quite a few cards with this one over the time that we've had it. So I've got 2 sheets of dies. There we go. So this large one here, this is actually one big die, and that cuts out all of the butterflies. Sorry, I've got a little bit of light reflection there. Let me just move that light back a tad. That cuts out all of the butterflies in one pass, which is super awesome. Or of course, I'm going to show you how you can just use individual butterflies as well. And then you've got all these extra little details. You've got some really cool embossing details. You've got added little butterflies, these ones, these little detailed ones. And then you've got a whole sheet of detailed butterflies with the cutouts. Now, I did cut some. We're not actually going to use those ones today, but I did cut some out last night because I was playing around with them. But that's one cut out in vellum. I think it's this one here. But how gorgeous are they? So beautiful. Now these dies these are also 60% off at the moment. So you get 60% off on the stamp set, 60% off on the dies, which is amazing. So they were $77 and now they're only $30.80. I'll put my little sticky note in there so you can see that. So yeah, so that is a brilliant, they're a brilliant combo to purchase, okay? And you'll save yourself a lot of money on those. So we're going to be playing with those, as I said. I might leave them out. I'll just pop them over here. We're also going to be playing with the Fabulous Frames dies, and these are 30% off. So they were $54 and now they are $37.40. So they are on for special. I thought I'd just show you all of the specials now that we're using, and then we can get to crafting. And then we're also using the Amazing Thanks dies. And these are the ones you've got thanks, you've got you are amazing, you've got the detail, and then you've also got the shadow or the heavier, you know, shadow background dies to coordinate with them. They're also 60% off. So they were $47 and they're now only $18.80. So yeah, so they are. So I thought I'd show you some items that had good reductions on them today, so that I can help you to save a little bit of money. So that's what we're going to be playing with today. I'm playing with some blends, Stampin' blends that are staying, some colors that are staying, and we're playing with Memento Tuxedo Black, which is also staying. So I'll just grab out. Now these colors that we're using today are staying. We've got Daffodil Delight, Calypso Coral, and Balmy Blue. Yeah, Balmy Blue. So all of these ones are staying. Okay. I'm just going to pop them up there. All right, so let's create together. Oh, I know something else that we're using today that's retiring. Now, I also used some of this on Monday, but I'm using it in a different way today. So this is the Awash in Beauty Designer Series paper. 20% off. It was $21 and now it's down to $16.80, which is awesome. Now, as you can see, I have used mine a fair bit and I have chopped it up, and I did a bit more chopping last night, ready for today. But let me just show you some of these gorgeous patterns that are in here. So they come in a 12 by 12 inch piece, and I've cut mine down. So you get a big sheet of this, which is repeated at the top and the bottom. And then if you cut them in half, you've got two beautiful big long borders, or then, as I've done, cut them into pieces to use in individual projects if you're making cards. So lots of beautiful paper. I love this one. That's gorgeous. Whoops. Beautiful designs. As you can see, I keep all my little scrappy bits because I use them in different projects. These can be fussy cut out. I've done that on a few projects, as you can see. And they make beautiful little floral focal images on your projects. Oh, here's another strip of that other one, the longer one. Oh, and then we do have some full pieces left still. I've got a few full pieces left. Let's have a look and see. Oh, that's another one of that other one that I just showed you that I said you could chop up and fussy cut those. These ones are beautiful as well. So these are some of the ones that I showed you that were chopped up, but now you get to see some of them in full size. And this one, yeah. So there you go. And some of the others I've already used up, so I don't have full sheets of all of them, I don't think. Hang on, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so there's a 6th sheet there that I've chopped up somewhere. Oh, it's probably this one, actually. It's probably this one. Yeah. So there you go. So that's what we're using today. And we're just using, we're using 2 sheets of this today. Well, 2 different pieces, not 2 full sheets, but 2 pieces. These are great for card making and also for your scrapbooking. So if you are a scrapbooker, then, you know, us scrapbookers, we love 12 by 12 designer series paper. And then you can cut it. You can either use it as a full background sheet, or you can cut it down to, you know, your purposes. Okay. Oh, hey, Brenton, how you going? Great to see you today. All right. So let me just pull all of this out of here. I've got a few bits and pieces. That can go over there, actually, out of my way. I was playing with lots of different things last night, so I was doing some choppy chop. And these are the bits that we have. I'm just going to leave these over to the side. All right. So what I've done, we're going to be playing with some Merry Merlot. Now, Merry Merlot is one of the colours that is retiring. So I thought we'll give that another whirl today while it's still available. The Merry Merlot cardstock is still currently available at 20% off. So you can get a full pack of A4 cardstock for just $13. Okay. The Merry Merlot is actually also beautiful for Christmas projects. So it's one of my favorite colors for Christmas project. Well, actually, it's probably my favorite red for Christmas projects. So that's okay. I'm going to develop a new favorite because it's leaving us. So, yeah, to make way for all the beautiful new colors. So we're using some of that today. And then we're just using some black and white, some basic black and basic white, and they are both carrying over. All right. So we are starting with, thank you, Amber. Amber has just popped up the information for the Merry Merlot A4 cardstock. Sorry, I had to think then. I went mind blank. See, said I told you I was tired today. Getting my words confused and yeah, and forgetting things. So all good. I can sleep in. No, I can't sleep in tomorrow. I can sleep in on Saturday maybe. That would be nice. All right. So I've got a card base of basic black. So this is just half a sheet of A4, cut at 21 centimeters by 14.85, scored and folded in half. Then I have got a piece of that designer series paper. So we've got that one on this side. So this is the Awash in Beauty designer series paper. And then we have got the Balmy Blue side, which is the side that I'm going to use. Now we're going to have a landscape card this time. So this is my first layer, okay? And this one is 14.45 by 10.1 centimeters, okay? And then I cut this piece from that longer panel. I'll show you which one that one came from. I had a piece of that out before. Let's grab that from in here. Should have left that out actually. It's this one here. So you can make lots of different cards. So you can either cut this in 3 pieces, so at 4 inches and 4 inches, and then you have 3 full panels, and then trim them down to fit your card front. But I've cut this one this way, so it's that piece there. So I've chopped it, is it that one there? No, it's this one here, this one here. So I've chopped it that way, something like that. It goes somewhere like that. Oh, there we go, there like that. Is it that side? I don't know. It's one of those anyway. So yeah, so I've cut it that way because I wanted to have a little bit of the white at the top and then the floral at the bottom. So it was looking like, you know, that was a garden. And we're going to have our butterflies flying out from the garden. So this little piece here is 12.5 centimeters by 9.3. Okay, and that is going to layer on that piece there. All right, so we're going to start with that. I'm going to start with those pieces first because then we're going to play with some frames and some butterflies and yeah, I will show you all of that. So let's just adhere those pieces now and we'll get those where we want them. And do you know what? I designed this card last night. I didn't actually make it up, but I designed it last night. Hence why I was up so, well, I should say early this morning. Hence why I was up till early hours this morning. And I did take a photo of it and I forgot to print it out. So I've got to remember what I did. I guess I could probably go to my computer. It might have uploaded to my computer. I took it on my phone, but it should have synced over to my computer. All right, so we're just going to adhere that to the black. So that kind of frames that paper to make it look like, you know, it's framed like a border. And then this piece here is going to be adhered in the middle. Now, I've got to try and line this up really well. So fingers crossed, everybody, that I get this lined up because we're going to frame this. So I need to get it in the middle. Let me move over in the middle of my cardstock, in my middle of my grid paper there. All right, so the liquid glue is great, the multi-purpose liquid glue. That it gives us the opportunity to line everything up so that we can, yeah, we can move it around if we need to. But I think that should be pretty good. I've got to make sure that's straight. So using the lines on my grid paper, I think that looks not too bad. All right. Okay, so I'll adhere that down. Okay, so there we go. All right. Now, the next thing that we are going to do is, I'll just get rid of some of that glue off my hands. Okay, so we're going to create a border around here. So we're going to take some of our Merry Merlot, which is discounted right now. So you can take a piece of our Merry Merlot and we're going to grab some dies. All right, so we're taking the Fabulous Frames dies and I'm going to use that largest frame there. So I'll take that out of the packet. And again, as I said earlier, the Fabulous Frames dies are discounted by 30% off. They were $54 and now they are $37.80 in the last chance sale. All right, so I'll take this large one. just pop the others back away. These frames are absolutely stunning. And I only got these ones not that long ago, actually, and I didn't get as much use out of them as I had hoped before they retire. So that's why I thought I'll use them again today, because they're going to be retiring very, very soon. Now, this one is, let me just measure that across. Yeah, okay. So if I cut my cardstock in half first, so I'll bring in my trimmer. We're going to cut this cardstock at 10.5. And today we are going to be using the large Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, because we're using some larger dies. Oops. So we're going to be using the large one today. These ones won't fit through the mini because they're just a little bit too big. All right, so I'm going to run this one through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'll move this over and I'll bring in the big machine. Oh, whoops, dropping something. Oh, that was my sticky notes. All right. Okay, so we've got our large machine here. Just pick up those sticky notes. That was for taping things down on my dies. Okay, and we'll pop this one down. Now, because this is a straight edged die, it has that straight edge there. If ever you've got a straight edge die, it's a good idea to put it in at an angle so that it feeds easier through the rollers and you don't get that big speed bump because it's not getting caught on those rollers as it goes through. Now, my plates are a little bit warped because I've been using them over and over and over, this one in particular. So I just need to stand up for a sec so I can make sure I hold that while I feed that through. Make sure your plates are going through straight. There we go. Okay, see, so because I've got that at a bit of an angle, it's much easier to wind through. And then we didn't get that big speed bump at the end. Sometimes I still get a little bit of a speed bump because when my plates are a bit warped like this. Okay, so when you cut this die, I'll just move this Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine out of the way for a minute. When you cut this die, you get all of these different pieces. Okay, so, whoops. There we go. Okay, so when you cut it, you get, so it cuts it out of your piece of cardstock. So really, if I centered that really well, you could have used that as an additional frame, but I didn't have it centered, so I won't keep that piece. But if you did, then that would be awesome as well. You'd get a third piece. So it cuts these two pieces. So it cuts around the outside of the frame and it puts some embossed detail on the frame as well. And then it cuts out the center of the frame. So you've got a piece like that. Okay, and if I hold that up to the camera, can you see the embossed detail in that? Yeah, I think you can see that on camera. Okay, let's bring those lights back in a little bit. There we go. All right, so let's pop that one back in the die. Hey, Laurie, how are you? Great to have you with us today. What have you been up to, Laurie? Have you been doing some crafting today? Okay, there we go. Actually, what time is it where you are right now, Laurie? It's probably, what would it be? We're morning. So is it evening for you? Okay, so this piece you can use for another project. We won't be using that one today, but I actually cut two of those. So I've cut another one ahead of time just to save time with the die cutting. And with this one, what I've done is I have added some foam adhesive strips to that piece, which are, where did I put them? Here they are, here. So my foam adhesive strips, they come in a long strip, and I've actually cut mine in half to make them a bit easier to use because they're very, very long. If you're using them for shaker cards and things like that, like they're quite pliable, so you can take them around circles and all sorts of things like that. So they are great to have them in long pieces if you're doing that. I don't tend to do a lot of shaker cards, so I decided just to cut mine in half. So yeah, so there you go. So I've already layered that up around there. Did that ahead of time. And I'll show you what we are going to do. Oh, you've been working. Oh, okay. Oh, there you go. And it's 9:45 p.m. there at where you are in Ohio. Awesome. Oh, there you go. Nearly your bedtime. All right. So then what we're going to do is we're going to layer this frame straight onto the cardstock, because what I want to do is I want to frame off that white border. Okay, so that's just going to be adhered down there. And then with this one, I want to create a 3D sort of looking frame. So then you could put that one up there like that. Now, if you wanted to, you could turn this into a shaker card by adding some window sheet to the back of this before adding this here. And then you could put your little shaker bits in there and turn that into a shaker card. If I had have thought of that, I probably would have done that. But I didn't think of that for this card. But that's okay. But that would be another great idea that you could do. Now we are going to decorate this up inside with our butterflies, but we're getting to that. We're doing laying down all of the foundations of the card first, and then we're going to get onto the stamping with our butterflies. Okay, so we want to put our frame down over our beautiful garden, our floral garden DSP. Well, it's the Awash in Beauty DSP, but this looks like a floral garden. So I'll just move that over a little bit. You just want to make sure that you've got this sort of centered on your card, and so that it is nice and straight and it's covering up those white edges of your designer series paper like that. Okay. All right. Then what we're going to do is we are going to add this frame over the top, but I'm not going to add that just yet because I want to add a few other things first, but I've got that ready. Okay, we're gonna do some decorating in here first, and then we'll add our frame. Okay, or we might decide to do it around the other way, so we'll see how we go. But we've got it there ready to go. All right, so we'll pop all that to the side, and now we're going to create these butterflies. Now, there's a few different ways you can do this. Where is my big block? Where did I put that now? Okay, oh, there it is. Okay, got it. All right, now, if you have the Stamparatus, you can use the Stamparatus because this is a really, really large stamp. So it is one complete stamp. If you have the Stamparatus, you can use that, but the Stamparatus is now sold out. It's gone. So if you don't have a Stamparatus, I'm going to show you another way of using this. With the Stamparatus, it is great because you can, if you stamp your images and then they're not dark enough, you can re-ink them and then stamp them again, okay, because it is a stamp positioning tool. So long as you've got your magnets down on your cardstock and you keep everything in place, you can do a second stamping, which is what I was doing last night. But I thought, well, there's no point in me showing you that for those of you that don't have the Stamparatus, because now the Stamparatus isn't available anymore. So what I did is I pulled out my biggest block. This is our F block. This one is the one that you use with all the big background stamps if you don't have a Stamparatus. And this was around before the Stamparatus. So we're going back to our blocks. So this is the big F block, and this one will fit the Butterfly Brilliance stamp set. So let's take this one out. And the great thing about this is you get all these different butterflies when you just stamp once with the one stamping. You get all these beautiful butterflies. Now it does just fit on the block, so you have to make sure that you do have that lined up so that none of, I might move it down a little bit, so that none of those butterflies are hanging off that beveled edge. You've got a little tiny beveled edge on the stamp, which is sort of makes it like an ergonomic stamp. It makes it nice to hold because you've got these little beveled edges. That makes it really lovely to hold in your hand. You can sort of grip it. It's not going to slip out of your hand. But just make sure your butterflies are within that beveled edge. Okay, now if you find it really difficult to manage a big stamp like that, what you can do is you can actually cut the rubber. You've got plenty of space between each of these butterflies, and you can cut these into individual stamps if you wish to. Okay, now Stampin' Up! Doesn't endorse that. That's just a tip that I'm giving, so I'm just letting you know if you do happen to cut up your stamp and something happens, that's kind of on you. So totally up to you. I haven't cut mine, but you know, it's something that you could do if you have trouble managing the large stamps, and then just stamp them individually. You'll still be able to use your dies with them. But yeah, if you want to handle them a little bit, you know, individually, so they're a little bit smaller, easier to manage, that's another option for you as well. Okay, so we are using Memento. Now, because it is a large image, you need a lot of cardstock to stamp that onto. So you're going to need, oops, let me just grab some here. You're going to need a half sheet of A4 cardstock. Okay, so this is just A4 cardstock cut in half, and that's kind of the size that you're going to need to stamp if you want to get all of these images. Now, we're actually only using 2 of the butterflies. We're only using these 2 on the 2 opposite corners. So we could ink up just those portions if we wanted to, but I want to show you how to stamp the whole stamp. Okay, but yeah, if you want to just stamp individual butterflies, you can just ink up the individual ones. I'll show you how to do that too. All right, but we're going to do the whole thing. So we're using our Memento Tuxedo Black ink. So what we're going to do is we are going to rub our ink over all of those butterflies. Now, they do have a bit of detail in them, so make sure you get on all of the detail. Once you've done a rub, then you're going to do a tap, tap, tap. And give them a good coverage of ink. Now, the best way to stamp this stamp is standing up, because it's such a big stamp. You want to get a lot of weight into it when you're pressing down on it. Okay. Brenton says he uses his Stampin' Right markers if he is stamping individual butterflies. That's a great idea. You could actually use your Stampin' Right markers on all of these, couldn't you? Like if you were stamping like a full colour. You just colour them in individually, give them a huff with your warm breath and then stamp them. All right, so this is the trickiest part, is turning this block over, because it's a big block. So grip onto it hard, turn it over, place it down where you want it. I'm going to place it up towards the top. And now I'm standing up, so my voice is probably sounding quite a bit different in the camera. You want to use a lot of pressure, use your body weight, and press down on all of those butterflies. Be careful not to rock it. Be careful not to move it. And especially I find this big one here, give a good press in the middle of that body, because sometimes this one I find is hard to get the ink even there. So give a good firm press. And let's see how we went. Beautiful. Look at that. See, so it wasn't really difficult. You just need to know the techniques to use to get it to stamp out, because it's such a big stamp. Okay, so isn't that gorgeous? Now, if you want to just ink up an individual butterfly, I'll give this a clean first. So let me grab some scrap paper. I've got a few pieces of scrap here. We only need one. So I'll ink off some of that ink first, or stamp off, I should say, some of that ink first before giving it a clean. There we go. Then we'll take our chamois. We're going to take our chamois out of the packet this time, and I like to fold it over and then give it a clean this way. Now, if you don't have a Simply chamois, you could use perhaps some baby wipes. Just make sure you're using baby wipes that are low in lint, because you don't want to get all those little linty bits in here. It can affect how your stamp stamps if they get caught in the detail of the images. And this one is, it doesn't say distinctive, but it looks distinctive because you've got all those different detailed bits in the butterfly. Detailed bits, very, very, very technical there. All right, there we go. Okay, the other thing you could use is just a damp cloth, like a damp chucks or a microfiber cloth or something, to give that a good clean as well. So you don't have to use baby wipes. In fact, a damp cloth is probably better and more economical anyway. Just if you're cleaning your stamps with a cloth, use one that doesn't matter if it gets stained with the ink. Yeah. All right, so let's say we just want just this little butterfly up here. So I'm going to turn my block actually around the other way. Oh, you know what? Well, let's do the bottom one. Let's do this one down here, just because it's at the bottom and it's a bit easier to get to. So we'll just ink it up on its own. So give it a little rub, rub, rub. Make sure we get all that ink adhering, and then a tap, tap, tap. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I'll just turn my cardstock around the other way. And so I've just inked up just that one butterfly. Okay. And then I'm going to stamp that up on my cardstock. So I'll just turn this sideways so it's a little bit easier. And I'm just going to turn that up this way here. Okay. And then I'll just give that a good press down there. There we go. And I've got a little bit of ink from the next one up, but that's okay because I'm going to die cut that out. Now, if you don't have the dies, you can always fussy cut them. You know, they're not too intricate. I think they would be pretty easy to fussy cut those. All right, so we'll just give that another little clean. Bit squeaky, isn't it? Okay, there we go. All right. So yeah, just remember that you can cut those apart if you wish to. And then if you want to stamp them again all as one piece, I will just cut the rubber just as it is, then don't trim it down from there. And then that way, if you want to stamp it again as one whole stamp, you just piece them back together like a puzzle onto your block. Okay? Alrighty. Okay, now from here, I like to colour my butterflies before I die cut them. I just find that it's easier to cut them when they're on that big piece that I can manage. You can cut them ahead of time if you want to, and then die cut them first and then colour them if you want to. But this is the way I prefer to do it. Now, I did go ahead and I did an extra one last night because it's a good idea, because we're going to be using some Stampin' blends, it's a good idea to let that ink dry first before going and colouring, just so that you don't get any bleeding of the ink. Okay, so I'll just move all of this over here. Got bits and pieces everywhere. And I'm about to lose some on the floor, so hang on one sec, let me just fix those. Okay. Alrighty, so we need 3 butterflies. So I'll use this one. I'll put this one aside. I can use that on another project. And we're going to just be colouring 3 butterflies. So I'm not doing anything fancy with the colouring. I'm just using both the light and the dark blends in the Balmy Blue, the Coastal Cabana, and the Daffodil Delight. And as I said at the beginning, these ones are all carrying over. All right, so we're going to colour this one and this one, and then we are colouring, oh, what was the other one I had? Which one was it? This one? Yeah, this one. But I'm going to show you a trick with this one. So we'll do the other ones first. Okay, so the larger of these two, this one here, I'm going to colour that one in the Daffodil Delight. So I'm just going to going to use the bullet tip. And I'm just going to colour. I don't have my glasses on again. Actually, I didn't wear my glasses last night when I was colouring these either. Now, because of the detail on these, you don't need to be too fussy with your colouring. And of course, we're working with blends too, so the colour blends down beautifully, and you get a very smooth finish anyway. But we're just going to do these really quickly. Doesn't matter if there's a little bit of white space. I'm not worried about that. Oops. There you go. Does anybody else have this stamp set? Have you played with this? Well, I know Brenton does, because he just mentioned about how he uses Stampin' Right markers to colour his butterflies when he's using them individually, which is a great tip. Okay, so we're just using the light on the outer part of the wings, and then we're using the dark Daffodil Delight just on these inside detail bits, or more sort of solidy bits. Okay, so we're just having a very monotone, monochromatic butterfly. Glenda has it. Ah, there you go, and she loves it. Fantastic. It's a beautiful stamp set, isn't it? All right, and now we're going to use the Coastal Cabana for our little butterfly up here. I'll turn him around a little bit to make it easier to colour. So I'm just using the light on the outer part of the wings. I mean, if you want to make these really colourful with all different colours, you can. I was playing around with different colours last night, but because the pattern paper that they're going on to is very patterned and detailed and busy, I decided just to keep the butterflies just very simple. I did try some multicoloured butterflies, but it was just a little bit too much. Too much for the eyes. There's too much going on my paper. Thank you all so much for the thumbs up and the hearts that are going up. Thank you. I appreciate your support. There we go. Okay. And then we'll just use the dark. Oh, Roz has this set too. She said she hasn't used it enough. Yeah, I know. It's a beautiful set, isn't it? I feel like I've made quite a few cards with it, but I also feel that I haven't used it enough too. It's just so beautiful. And there's, you know, there are actually so many ideas that I had, which I still have in my head with this set, which I never got to do because we just had so many beautiful products. All right, and now with the blue, with the Balmy Blue, I'm going to use the light, and I'm just going to colour half of this butterfly, and I will show you why. And I'm doing it, actually I could use the dark in that part there. Oh, how dark is the dark? Let me test that first. Let me just see. Might be a bit too dark for what I want. Oh yeah, that's way too dark. No, I'm just going to do, did I pick up the right one? Ah, you know why? I picked up the wrong one. That's the black. I was going to use the black for the inside of the bodies, then I decided last night it looked too heavy and I didn't like it. That's why. Okay, so not that one. Let's get the Balmy Blue. Oh, right, this is the light Balmy Blue. I must have used the dark last night. I did too. That's a dark Balmy Blue. This is the light Balmy Blue. Oh, okay, let's do that. So I'll do the light Balmy Blue in this part here. All right, and then I'm going to do the dark Balmy Blue on the rest, but I'm only doing this side, and I will show you why. You're probably thinking, she's crazy, what is she doing? I've got a little tip to show you, a little tip and a trick. I don't know if you want to call it a tip or a trick. Call it what you will. So what's everyone got planned for the Easter long weekend? You doing some nice things with your family, or fun things, or going to the beach? Or I actually don't know what the weather's supposed to be like. It's a little bit gloomy right now, so I don't know if it's going to be nice weather or not. Actually, that light you can hardly even see now that I've coloured with the dark, so let's just go over that with the dark as well, hey? Add a little bit more dark to the tips of the wings there. Okay. All right, so that's all our colouring. So super easy, keeping it really simple today. Okay, and now we are going to die cut these butterflies. Now, of course, you know, you've got these other beautiful butterflies. You can colour those or die cut them and colour them later. But for this project, I only needed those 3. Okay. Now we want our big dies from. Let's grab it. Here we go. All right, so we've got our Brilliant Wings dies. And remember, these ones are discounted too. Brilliant Wings, 60% off. That's amazing. For only $30.80, and you get all of these dies. That is such an amazing special. Oops. And the one that I want has actually just come off my die sheet. This is the one we want. Okay. Whoops. All right, so we're going to put this on here and line this up. Now, you will want to tack this down so that it doesn't move when you're die cutting, because you need it to align to all of those different butterflies. So, grab out the good old washi tape. And some of these, oh, that one needs to go in the bin. That one's no good. Okay, so we're going to line these all up so that they fit nicely around those beautiful butterflies. And then that's got it. Then we'll adhere those down. I'm going to adhere it in several places because it's a large die and it wants to always move around. I'll grab one more, so I'll put 4 pieces on there. Okay, great. Set that aside for the moment. I'll bring in the machine. Ooh, see, we definitely needed the big machine today. Here we go. All right, and we'll pop this down. So we've got our, I'll just show you. I didn't show you the first time. So we've got our base plate. So that's our number 1 base plate. And then I've got my number 2 adapter on there. Mine's getting a bit warped, so I'm using mine upside down at the moment. Then we've got a number 3 clear plate. Then we put our piece in there that we're die cutting. And this is a large one, so we need to line that up. Make sure that's straight. And then we're putting a clear plate over the top. And I'm going to stand up for this one again too. Oops. There we go. Okay. And it actually cuts really easily, this one. We've got lots of, you know, solid shapes there. Okay, I'll take this off. And there's all our beautiful butterflies there, die cut. So these ones that we're not using, I'll put those aside and keep those for another project. And these are the ones we want for today. Okay, so I'll just put my die sheet back on, sorry, the dies back on the die sheet. And we'll reuse that washi. We've still got one more die cutting piece to do, but we'll do that in a moment. Okay, so pop this one back. Okay, and then we're left with that. So you can still use this piece down here for a sentiment or for cutting some more butterflies. Oh, I was going to show you where I stamped that other butterfly. So all you do with your die, okay, because I stamped that individual butterfly down there, all you do with your die is you take your die, you line it up, line up that corresponding butterfly like that. So pretend you've already die cut these ones like I just did, and this is just stamped on that bottom bit of scrap, and then you just run your die through that way. Okay, So you can use them individually like that. All right. So don't think that you've got to die cut every single butterfly at once. You don't have to. So I wanted to make sure that I showed you that as well. All right. Oops, dropping my card base on the floor. Hang on one sec. Having a dropsy day. It's just one of those days today. All right, so we've got these two die cut. Now this one, I'm going to have this one look like it is a butterfly flying away, and you just have that sort of side view of the butterfly. What do you call it? The side, oh, I can't think of the name of it. The side angle. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut away this part, this half of the butterfly. So it's like his little wings are closed, and perhaps it could either be the side angle of the butterfly, or it could even be that the butterfly is sitting on something so that you just see him in half like that. And pretend that the rest of the other side of his wing is, say that he was folded up like that. Okay, so say the butterfly was flying like that, but that would be where the other part of his wing is. Does that make sense? So he's flying like that. So there's another little tip that you could do. Did you know you could do that with your little butterfly stamps? There you go. Profile. Thank you, Roz. That's the word I was thinking of. Yes, the profile, the side profile of the butterfly. So there you go. So we're going to use that one like that as well. Okay. So we want to put some dimensionals on those, but before we do that, we're going to do our sentiment as well. So I'll put those butterflies to the side, and I'll show you how we'll arrange all of that in a moment with our frame as well. Our sentiment is the last piece, and we're going to use the Amazing Thanks dies. Now, I want that mounted up. I want that to be thick, and it's going to be in black cardstock. And then we're going to add some Wink of Stella to make it blingy bling bling. So we're going to take out our thanks. Now remember, the Amazing Thanks dies are discounted as well. 60% off, which is amazing. And now they're only going to be $18.80. So you can grab yourself a bargain on those. So we've got thanks. You are amazing. I've actually got them in the wrong order, but you are amazing. And then these ones are all the shadows, so that the like the border shadows. But I'm just using the thanks just on its own today. All right, so what I'm going to do is measure how much cardstock I need. I'm going to cut a strip of basic black. I probably have something in my scraps, which last night I was using up all my scraps for all of these things as I was fiddling. Well, except for the big butterflies, I needed a large piece for that. But if you just measure, this is how I measure to see how much cardstock I need. So I just lay my die on my cardstock, see where my cutting, the cutting track is, and then I move that away, line that up, make sure that I've got that cardstock straight, and hold it in place, and then just cut it. Okay. Now, before we die cut that, we want to do one more step. So, because I want that mounted up on mounting foam, I'm going to take my foam adhesive foam adhesive sheets. These come in a pack, and that's a full size. Now I'm going to use up my off-cut pieces, but that's the full size, and then you just cut that down to the size that you want. I keep all my little bits and pieces because I use them all. And you get, how many sheets do you get? I forget how many you get in the pack. 6 sheets. So you get 6 sheets in the pack. So they go a long way. Oops, let me bring that pack back because I've got to put all my little bits and pieces back in there. I don't want to lose those. So I'll put this one back in. Excuse the crinkling of the plastic. And I'm going to use this big piece here, and we're going to cut that in a couple of pieces to use. There we go. Or you can use a full sheet and cut it to the length. But basically what we want to do is we want to cut enough to cover the back of this piece of cardstock. Oh, we're not going to have enough actually. Oh yeah, we might have enough. So what I do is I line it up with my cardstock. Now, the thanks isn't the full size of that cardstock. Let me move that out of the way. Obviously, so it's just along the center, but I want to make sure that I don't miss any of it. So you can take this just inside the border of the cardstock, but you don't want to make it too small because you want to make sure that you get a good amount of that cardstock. So let's see if I go that way. So I'll just I'll just cut it about there. Okay, just cut it up there like that. So we'll do that piece first. Now this is double-sided foam adhesive. So we're going to take off the paper backing from one side and we're just going to stick it down onto our cardstock. And we've got a gap. So we've got to fill in that gap. So let's just cut another piece from here. And that's going to be about there. And about there. Okay, and then these extra pieces, we can use them for other projects, so hang on to those. Okay, and then what we're going to do with this piece, take the backing off, and we're going to butt it right up against that other piece. Push it right up firmly against that other piece so that it's kind of like one continuous piece. Okay? All right, now don't take the paper backing off that yet. Leave that on for the moment. We're going to put our die onto our cardstock and we're going to washi tape that on. Now, you can use Post-it notes to adhere those on because we just want a temporary adhesive. So you can use Post-it notes. You can also use our masking paper, the Stampin' Up! Masking paper. You can use that as well. Just dab it on your clothes first. So if you've got some denim jeans on or a cotton shirt on, don't use anything that's too fluffy, like a fluffy jumper or something like that. That'll put too much fluff on it. Then it won't stick to anything. But yeah, you just don't want it to be too sticky because you want to be able to remove it again later. And the masking paper is very, very sticky. So just dab it off first on your clothes. Yeah. Oh, you weren't sure what the foam adhesive sheets were for, Roz. Oh, yeah. So it's just like our Stampin' Dimensionals. It works exactly the same, but you can cut it to all different sizes for the needs of your project. So if the Stampin' Dimensionals aren't sort of the right size, or you want, a thicker piece, a wider piece, larger piece, or a detailed piece, then here's where you can use the sheets. They come in very handy for that. All right, so I've actually got my mini machine right here and it's so much easier for me to pick it up. So I'm going to use my mini machine this time. All righty, so we've got our number 1 plate and 2 number 2 plates. So we'll put our first number 2 plate down. We're going to put our thanks. Now, because it is foam adhesive, it's going to compress when we run it through the die cutting machine. Now, my bottom plate is quite warped, so hopefully we might switch them over. I might put that one on the bottom. That one is also warped, but not quite so much. Just puts added pressure on the rollers, that's all. And then we'll put that one on top, and then we'll take that through. Oops. Now this is going to slide around a little bit because I've got it on the paper, so the rubber feet have got nothing to grip to. Now I went through once, I'm going to go back through the other way. Because the foam adhesive is thick, I want to make sure that it's cut all the way through. There we go. And that is all for our die cutting now, so we'll put that away. And I'll show you the results. Okay, so I've got a bit of muck on there from my plates because my plates are pretty grotty, but that's okay. I'm not using that part of the cardstock anyway. So just remove our Post-it note there. When you run this through with the foam adhesive, anything you lay on top gets really compressed down tightly because it's, you know, forced through that machine. You never ever want to force anything through your machine if it feels like it's not going to go through. You don't want to break your machine. So please don't, you know, overly force it through, but you just need to use a little bit of pressure when you're putting the foam adhesives through. All right, so we can see that it's cut all the way through beautifully through that foam adhesive. Okay, and now we're going to pop this out of that background piece. Make sure that you take with it the backing paper of the foam adhesive, okay, because it might want to try and stick in the cardstock as you try and take those pieces out because it's thick. So just gently work that out. Okay, there's our die. It is easier to work that out with your die still in place as well. So I've got that mostly out now, and then we'll just gently take that out. Now, because it's a word and it's a cursive word, not a curse word, a cursive word, as in running writing, it's a little bit delicate because it's kind of stretchy. So just take it out really carefully. Oh, and you can see there that that piece has come off. So I'm just going to try and put that back in place. That's just the backing paper. So it's not a big deal, but I'm not ready to stick it yet. Okay, so there we go. And now we'll just poke out. So there's that. Look, if you wanted to use the negative piece, you could use that too. You could use that for a project. Now, don't put that in your paper recycling bin because it's got that foam adhesive on it, okay? Don't put it in your paper recycling. It'll need to go in the rubbish bin. All right, and then we've got to pop out the center of our S, the center of our K from that curly bit at the top of the K. The center of our A. These normally pop out when you just die cut this. Normally they just pop straight out, but because you've got the foam adhesive, they want to stick, not disturb. Let's just do that now. There we go. Sorry about that, everybody. Am I back? All good? Okay, awesome. Sorry, I forgot to set my phone to do not disturb today. Happens sometimes. I've been getting random calls the last few days, and every time I answer them, it's a call center or there's nobody answering on the other end of the line, and really frustrating. That's probably what that was again. There we go. All right, so there we go. So there is our very beautiful dimensionalized thanks. Now, can you see the dimension on that? It's nice and high. Oh, I've got it probably at the wrong angle there. Is that better? Yeah, see how that's nice and thick? So that'll sit up beautifully off our project. Now, before we adhere it, I want to add a little bit of Wink of Stella. Now, my Wink of Stella brush is nearly empty, so I'm going to open up a new one. This is how the Wink of Stella brush comes in a little package like this to protect it. Okay, we'll slip that out of there. There's some little instructions in there too, if you need those. But when you get it, it's got this little black, and some of you may not know this if you've never bought a Wink of Stella brush, and you might notice too that this one has got a clear cap, and this is an old one that has a white cap. So it's been changed a little bit. Okay, so this black piece here, this is to protect the tip so that it doesn't actually leak. So what you need to do is when you first get your Wink of Stella is you need to open it. You need to remove that little black center, the little protector piece, and then you're going to screw that all the way on. That pierces then down into the barrel. Put your cap back on very carefully. Give it a good shake. You want to mix up that glitter in the solution that's in the end there. That little black cap, make sure you pop that in the bin. All right, and then test it on some scrap paper before you put it on your project. So you're going to give a little squeeze on the barrel here. It says push here on both sides of the barrel. So you're just going to give it a little push, and you'll see the glitter start to work down into the brush. At the moment, the brush tip is white. You'll see that change color to a sort of a silvery, shimmery color. So just keep pushing. You can see the solution starting to come down here through the barrel there. Just keep giving it a squeeze. Give it a little brush. It'll work its way down. There we go. You don't want to overly squeeze it. If you squeeze it too much or too hard, it'll pour out. So don't squeeze it too hard. Just little gentle pushes until the glitter starts to flow. There we go. So you can see now the glitter is starting to flow. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our thanks. Let's use that same piece of scrap paper, and we're going to brush our Wink of Stella all over the words there to make them glittery and shiny. Now where I'm holding it, I will come back to that piece in a moment once we get the rest done. So this will make it really pop on our project, and it will kind of turn it, you'll still see the black through, but it'll have sort of like a silvery shimmer to it. There we go. And we'll come back here to the rest of my tea. I'll just dab that there so it won't run away. All right, so we're going to set that aside to dry. It doesn't take too long. Make sure we've got a good coverage on there and all of our upstrokes as well. All right, good. Oops, I think I missed the bottom of the S. There we go. Okay, so we'll set that aside to dry. Cap our Wink of Stella and store it upright so that you've got the brush tip at the top so it doesn't all leak down into the cap. Okay, so there we go. Pop that over to the side to dry, and we will start working on our butterflies. So we've got our frame, we've got our butterflies. Now our butterflies are pretty boring just as they are. They're just flat. And of course, butterflies' wings are, you know, they have a bit of dimension to them. So we want to curl up our little butterfly wings. So we're going to take our bone folder, turn your butterfly over upside down, lay it on your bone folder, pop your thumb on the top of the bone folder as you hold it in your hand like that. And then you're just going to gently pull like that, and that will curl your butterfly wings up like that. Turn it around and do the other one as well. And then you get a beautiful butterfly with its little wings sitting up. Okay, so see how it sits up nicely like that. Okay, so we're going to do the same with the other one, the little calypso coral one. And the more times you run it through your bone folder, the more curl you're going to get on your wings. Okay, so it depends on how much you want them to curl up. And then with this one, I'm just going to curl that top wing there. Okay, I'm not going to curl the bottom portion. I'll show you why in a moment. So I'm just curling that top portion there. All right. Okay. Yes, it is like curling ribbon, Roz. Yeah, exactly the same. Yep. Only that we're using a bone folder and not paper snips, because paper snips are too sharp and we don't want to cut ourselves. Yeah. All right. Oh, you haven't used your butterflies in ages, Glenda. Oh, hopefully I'll inspire you to get them back out again. All right. Now, for our butterflies, what we want to do, I'm going to add my frame now. I was going to put my thanks in first, but it's still wet. So, yeah, I should have prepared the other one beforehand actually, but I didn't. But that's okay. All right. Will I or won't I? Yeah, I will. I think I'll need to. because they're going to go over the edge. Yep, okay. So we'll adhere our frame now. I was going to put my thanks. It'd probably be easier to adhere your thanks there first, but because my thanks still has the Wink of Stella a bit wet on it, in fact, I probably should have stuck it and then Wink of Stella it. That would have been clever. But anyway, that's okay. So we're going to take all of these backings off our adhesive strips. Now the adhesive strips, the dimension on those is a little bit higher than our standard dimensionals and the foam adhesive sheets. So the foam adhesive sheets have the same dimension as the dimensionals, so the same height as the dimensionals. The strips are actually higher. Okay, just in case you weren't aware of that. All right, so we've got the backing paper off all of those. Now it's a sticky little piece. We want to attach it straight over the top of that other one, that other frame. So we'll line that up. And the reason that I didn't just adhere just one was because if I had adhered just one layer, you would have seen the edge of that white designer series paper underneath. And then you'd see sort of this sticking out from the side. It just didn't look finished or tidy, but now it looks like a 3D, it actually looks like a 3D frame or a shadow box frame. Yeah, okay, so now we've got that beautiful dimension. All right, so now for our butterflies, because this is up so high, I'm going to use those same adhesive strips to put behind the butterflies so that they're going to sit up at the same height. The thanks is using the adhesive foam sheet, so it's going to sit below the top of the frame. Out you come on. There we go, I'll just take one of those out. All right, so I'm just going to cut some of these down a little bit, just into short little strippy bits. Let's go this end. There we go. So we just want to cut some short little pieces for our butterflies. Now the two full-size butterflies, they would be okay with the dimensionals. The standard dimensionals, because it wouldn't matter if they sat down inside the frame a little bit, but the blue one is going to sit up on the side of the frame, so I needed a piece of this one because I needed it to be the same height. So I'm just going to put some foam adhesive down the center of the bodies, and actually before I adhere those, I will just position them first. And I'm doing this from memory because I forgot to print my photo, didn't I? Actually, this one, I think we can have the foam on the bottom part of the body, but also on that lower wing. So we might cut another piece. And we'll pop some down on that lower wing because that's going to hang down there like that. Yes, that'll be good. Okay, so this is how they're going to sit. There, there, there. In fact, you know what? I think I actually want, now that I'm looking at those butterflies up that high, I think I want normal dimensionals on the back of them. I think they're sitting up too high for what I wanted. So my one last night, I think, what did I do last night? Oh no, I had normal ones on the ones last night. Look, it doesn't really matter. You can do it either way. I might actually just change them over though to my standard dimensionals for those two, but this one needs the higher depth. So just see if I can get that back off. Can I get that back off? Ooh, I don't want to damage my butterfly now. Oh, ripped a little bit, but that's okay. Yeah, look, you can use that one if you want to, if you want that height, but I've just decided I want them a little bit lower. There we go. Okay. Good. Salvaged. All good. Take a pick tool. There we go. So we'll use some of the mini Stampin' Dimensionals and I'll put those on the backs of these butterflies. Last night I was actually using strips of my offcuts from the dimensionals. And I thought I had used, when I looked at them quickly this morning, I thought, oh, I've used the adhesive strips, but no, I hadn't. I'd actually used standard dimensionals. There we go. So they sit down a little bit lower. That'll be good. All right, so we want those there. I am going to need to work out where I want my thanks, but because I'm still waiting for that to dry, it should be dry fairly soon. I did do one earlier. But this one isn't mounted up. But for the purpose of today, I'm just going to pop it in place just for the moment. I will put the other one down when I'm done, but just for the moment to position my... So if you had time, let that Wink of Stella dry first and then put your sentiment down and then your butterflies, okay? But because I'm still waiting for mine to dry, I'm just going to use this one as a template while my other one is drying, just so that I don't cover that up with my butterflies. All right, I'm going to put this one first, the yellow one up in the corner. Does that make sense? Yeah. So I have the just the template for the moment. This one's definitely going up there. So we'll take those dimensionals. We might want a little bit of glue on the wing where it's going to touch the frame. So we'll just put a little bit of glue there just to hold it in place, just a tiny bit. And this one's going to be flying like this. Now you want to make sure that your wing is not going outside of the edge of the card so that it still fits in the envelope. It should be good there. Okay, and then we've got this little one here, which is going to be flying that way. And just watching where our thanks is there. Okay, so that's how our butterflies are going. Now, let's see if our Wink of Stella has dried. Oh, it feels pretty good, actually. Yeah, that feels dry. Oh, good. That didn't take too long at all. Okay, so we'll take our template away. And now we'll very carefully remove the paper from the back of this one. Now, remember, we used it in 2 pieces. So let me use my Take Your Pick tool. There we go. All right, now it's super sticky. And remember too, because it is a cursive font, it's going to want to stretch out of shape. So just be careful as you place that down. In fact, we might go that way. I'll go behind the A and I'll line that up down here. And I'm just watching the position of my S and my T and trying to get them at the same height from the frame. And just gently tapping that down. There we go. Okay, so then we can push that down nice and firm. And we've got that beautiful dimension there. Now, if you happen to do that and you think, oh, my Wink of Stella actually wasn't that dry, just go back over it and then just let it dry. So there we go. So that's the basis of our frame. And now we're going to use some of the iridescent pastel gems. I'm pretty sure these ones are actually carrying over into the new catalogue. So let me remember now where I had these. I don't remember where I had these on the sheet, but that's okay. We will just put them here, there, and everywhere. So I'll pop one down there. Oh, thank you, Glenda. Glenda said, very pretty card. It's a bit of a mashup of a few different, using a few different products together, but it's great to see how we can do that and, you know, create something really beautiful. So pop some of these gems down here and there. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got 5, but let's see, can we put a 6th one? We'll make it very blingy. Actually, let's put that one up here. Blingy, bling, bling. We're losing this one on the yellow flower. So let's put this one maybe up here somewhere. There we go. Now, the last thing is I was wondering if we needed a little bow. So I've got my Baker's Twine Essential Pack here. I don't have much left on my roll and my white roll because obviously that you can see that's the color that I use the most. The white and the crumb cake are the ones I use the most. But I have some old white Baker's Twine. So I keep all my old rolls of Baker's Twine, and sometimes we get Baker's Twine in some of our kits too. So I've got all of these extra little bits, so we'll use some of that up. And I'm going to tie a bow. We just want a little bow. Oops, nearly lost the end. Nearly lost the end of that one. And I'll just trim those ends up a bit. There we go. Okay, so just a little bow, and I was thinking this little bow could perhaps go on the side of my frame there. Just to add a little bit of ribbon. I don't think it'll fit well down into the frame because there's a lot already going on in the frame and it's probably going to get lost, but I do like to add a little bit of ribbon to most of my... Look, it probably doesn't really need it, but I just thought it was an extra little element that might just add a little bit of something so that it looks like it's tied around the frame, but actually it's just sitting there. So you could have it with or without the bow. What does everyone think? With the bow or without the bow? Let me know what you think. Give me your opinion. So that's how it looks now. Hold it up to the camera a little bit closer. Do you like that? It does. With the dimension on that frame, it looks really great, like especially in person. It's a bit hard to tell on camera, but in person with that dimension on that frame, it looks so much better rather than just having it flat. So do you like it without the bow or do you like it with the bow there on the frame? Let me know what you think. Bow or no bow? Cast your votes in the comments so that I know whether or not I should do that. Because last night I kept looking at it. And you know, sometimes when you look at a card and you look for too long and you just are like over it and you think, oh, I just don't know anymore. I kind of got to that point and I couldn't decide about the bow. So I need some suggestions. Nobody's making any suggestions. Okay, well, let me have a look what that looks like on camera without the bow. I'll just take that away and see. It looks pretty without it too. No bow, Brenton said. Doesn't need the bow. It looks pretty without it too, doesn't it? Yeah, no bow. Okay. So far, Brenton is the only one who voted. So, okay, I'll go with your vote, Brenton, and we'll have no bow. So there we go. Then we're finished our card. So there you go. Now, if you wanted to, you could, oh, you know what? You could. I won't, actually. You could Wink of Stella your butterflies if you wanted to as well, to make them shimmery and shiny like your thanks. Oh, Roz just said she thinks with the bow, but not in that position. Oh, okay. I think I'll leave it without the bow. I think it was really hard to decide where to put the bow, and the inside is so busy and I kind of have run out of room. I don't know where else I would put it. So we might just go with no bow, I think. Of course, we're going to need an insert in this card because it has a black base and it's very hard to write. Unless you've got a white gel pen, you could do that. But I will put a white insert inside there so we can write on that, but I'll do that later. But there you go. But yes, you could Wink of Stella your butterflies if you want to make them shiny and shimmery too. You could Wink of Stella your flowers. you can just make it super, super blingy. So you like it without the bow as well, Roz? Oh, thank you. Good, I'm glad. Yeah, so there you go. So there is a pretty little project for you. Remember all those beautiful products that are retiring. If you don't already have them, be sure to grab them while they're still available. Let me tip the camera back up face to face so that I can just remind you of a couple of things before we go. So bear with me for one moment. Here we go. I'll cover up the camera and we'll just do a little adjustment. Oh, I keep on going to adjust it on the other side. So awkward doing it from the opposite side. I'm so used to doing it on the other side. It's so weird. And go back up and oh, hang on a minute. We're a bit too close there. There we go. All right, we'll do a flipperoo. There we go. And we're back. Lights, camera, action. We've got the camera bit. We'll do the lights bit. Sit. This light. It always does this. Stay. 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 Okay, good. Oh, now I've got lights before my eyes. It's all good. There we go. Okay. So, what I wanted to tell you was any of those products that are retiring, like we used on our beautiful card today. We need a name for this card. What am I going to call this? Butterfly Garden or something. Oh, there goes my light. It's falling. It's falling. I knew it was going to do that. I just knew it. Anyway, it's going to have to, yeah, it's falling again. Never mind. We'll leave it. Yeah, I think we need to call it Butterfly Garden or, I don't know. Does anyone have any better names that we could call this card? I'll need to have a name for it to be able to blog that. But yeah, any of those retiring products or the pre-order products, the products that are available in the pre-order for the brand new catalog. Let me just remind you what that looks like. This one here. So those products can all be put into your starter kit. So if you would like to grab all of those products, get a great bargain. So with your starter kit, you get to choose $235 worth of product, but you only pay $169. So if you want $66 worth of product for free, then getting the starter kit is awesome. And then you'll get a 20 to 25% discount on all of your Stampin' Up products as well. And with this new catalog coming out, believe me, you will want that discount. As demonstrators, we get our discount on top of any sale prices. So with the last chance sale at the moment, we get our discount on top of those sale prices. So it's just a great time to join to take advantage of free product and then getting the discount. We would love to have you come and join our creative community. We have a beautiful, beautiful community of beautiful people. We have lots of fun together. We've actually got another team event coming up very soon as well. And then we've got a big one we're planning for August, which is going to be awesome. That'll be a whole day retreat. So if you'd like to join us and come and enjoy all of the fun of my team, then please get in contact with me. I will also pop the joining link in the details of this video, both here on Facebook and over on YouTube as well. So if you've already made the decision, feel free to go there and click on join. But if you would like more information, please get in contact with me and I would love to answer any of your questions. But just so you know, there's no pressure to sell product or anything like that. You don't need to sell, you don't need to do classes or videos like I do. You don't need to do any of that. You can simply purchase the products for your own crafting enjoyment if that's what you would like to do. That is fine. That is great. And I love that you're able to, join in the crafting community and also get that amazing discount as well. But I love including new people into our beautiful team. So please, please consider coming and joining us. And you'll get all those amazing benefits and new product early and beautiful complimentary catalogs when new catalogs come out. Lots and lots of great stuff. We also have special demonstrator only events. We have a demonstrator only Facebook group. I have my own team Facebook group as well. It's a busy, busy little group, especially this week. This week I've been doing multiple posts every day, keeping everyone up to date with what's going on. So you'll always know what's happening in the Stampin' Up! World. So yeah, please feel free to ask me any questions that you would like to ask. And if there's anything I can help you with as a customer as well, I'm happy to help and support you as well and give you great customer service. So please reach out to me if there's anything that I can help you with. All right. Well, I hope that you all have a wonderful Easter, that you have a lovely time with your family. If you're going away, I hope you have safe travels, and I just pray that you have a really blessed time. So happy Easter to you all. God bless you, and I will look forward to seeing you next week. Happy crafting, everyone. Bye.